Hi, this is Jack Stanley, and I want to talk about knowledge. It's an important thing. Can you imagine, if you will, mankind 500 years from now, if we exist as a species? Can you imagine them laughing their asses off reading many of our publications, many of our scientific theories, many of our historical theories, many of our ideas about the ancients, ideas about life, ideas about spirituality and all kinds of things, religion and gods, etc. What will they say 500 years from now, and how much will they be laughing at us? Well, it's an interesting thing that right now we are very much ruled by academia and the research that's done by various theaters of knowledge. An interesting thing is this, though, that we are reaching a very unique period in time right now where you have a lot of people that have a voice that never did have it, and that is the common man. And sometimes the common man has some very interesting things to say that is quite different than academia. But the interesting thing to me is 500 years from now, what will they think of what we think? It's an interesting thing to ponder. I have talked about this before with the Sphinx and the idea that it might be much older than we think it is, possibly the pyramids, possibly the same, we're not sure. Maybe 500 years from now, there'll be a lot more knowledge into this, maybe more research, there'll be scientific tests to answer some of these questions. Maybe some of our theories on religion and gods will have been debunked by this point. Maybe they will have been enhanced. Who knows? I mean, that's the whole idea, that nothing is set in stone. Knowledge is never set in stone because knowledge can always be enhanced. And if we set it in stone, that means we're not going any further. And that's happening in certain areas of research. And it's not good. A thing also to mention, think about dinosaurs. You go back 300 years ago, nobody knew what a dinosaur was. We had no idea about it. Occasionally, in ancient times, large bones would be found, and it would lead to stories of giants and things like that. And, of course, in the late 18th century was the first collection of dinosaur bones, and in the 19th century is really when that whole idea of research into what would be called dinosaurs would start. Now, it's only the beginning of the 21st century. The year is 2018 right now as I speak. And so we have had maybe 200 years of research into dinosaurs. And the idea was, well into my life, that dinosaurs were reptiles and cold-blooded. Well, now we think very differently. There's still some old-timers that will say they are cold-blooded. But the general understanding is now that they're very much like birds. They have a four-chambered heart, that they were much more active. They didn't need to lay in the sun to warm up. And our understanding of dinosaurs is evolving. There is no set, total understanding of the knowledge of dinosaurs. Yes, we have many, many theories, many hypotheses, many thoughts, but still there are gaps within those thoughts. And perhaps in 500 years, there will be a vast array of information that will answer most of the questions that we have today with our lack of understanding. And that's true in so many different areas. The one thing about mankind is that we have a severe case of historic amnesia. We do have a habit of forgetting our history. And generations seem to forget what previous generations held dear to their heart historically. So 500 years from now, the human race will be very different. We will be very different creatures. We will have adapted to a totally different world. Now let's hope we're smart enough not to blow each other up. I question that at times because I don't see a great deal of intelligence. Sometimes some of the least intelligent people are the ones that are attracted to government. It's an interesting thing. I remember John F. Kennedy was talking to someone who filled me in on the story about the one shocking thing he discovered after becoming president was meeting the various world leaders and discovering they weren't so extraordinary, that they were not the brightest bulbs, as it were. He was rather shocked by that. So what will politics, what will world relations be like 500 years from now? Will we be one country? Will we be one people under one ideology? Who knows? I mean, the world of 500 years from now is as distant, as 500 years in the past. And we were pretty simplistic at that time, and we kind of laugh at all the various things that were thought at that time. And so we should be prepared to be laughed at quite a bit by the people 500 years in the future. I think it's a great thing to think of, and I would recommend that all of you think about this a little bit. Try to think about the future. Try to find something that you have that you think will survive. Write in it, or do something in it, like a book. A book that is kind of precious. It doesn't have to be written in the book in general. You could put a page, slip it into the book. Write in it. Give a message to the future. Tell them what you think. Tell them what things are going on. Because you know something, our history will be messed up 500 years from now, just probably like it is today. But there's nothing more wonderful than to be able to read a contemporary view of the moment in which the writing is taking place. Because usually we talk about what was, but that is what is at the moment, and that's a lot different. And that adds to knowledge. And I worry about the future in its understanding of our present time. People don't keep diaries. People don't write letters. People don't do a lot of things that we use so often to document history. Yes, everything will be Twitter and Facebook and this and that, but will that all survive? And can it all be wiped out? Yeah, it can. And are there hard copies of everything? There's some, yes. But it will prove interesting 500 years from now to see how people will perceive us. And once again, if we had not blown ourselves up, if we have not killed each other, if we have finally learned to actually get rid of this animalistic behavior. And in fact, that's kind of insulting to animals, because you know something? Animals don't kill their own just for the heck of it. We do. And if we can rid ourselves, maybe through genetics, maybe they will change our bodies around. Maybe they will get rid of these bad genes. Maybe that might be something in the future too. Maybe 500 years from now there will be dinosaurs again. Maybe there will be woolly mammoths. Maybe we will see all kinds of creatures from the past that have been replicated and recreated. Maybe historic figures. Who knows? It would be interesting to be a fly in the wall. But one thing, just think about the future. And think about how much more they will know. And how little we really know right now.